When the office door opened, suddenly I knew the game was up. It had been a moneymaker, but it was all over. As the cop walked in, I sat back in the chair and put on a happy grin. He had the same somber expression and a heavy foot that they all have, and the same lack of humor. I almost knew to the word what he was going to say before he uttered a syllable. James Bolivar de Gritz, I arrest you on the charge. I was waiting for the word charge. I thought it made a nice touch that way. As he said it, I pressed the button that set off the charge of black powder in the ceiling. The crossbeam buckled, and the 3-ton safe dropped right through on top of the cop's head. He squashed very nicely, thank you. The cloud of plaster dust settled, and all I could see of him was one hand, slightly crumpled. It twitched a bit, and the index finger pointed at me accusingly. His voice was a little muffled by the safe and sounded a bit annoyed. In fact, he repeated himself a bit. On the charge of illegal entry, theft, forgery. He ran on like that for quite a while. It was an impressive list, but I had heard it all before. I didn't let it interfere with my stuffing all the money from the desk drawers into my suitcase. The list ended with a new charge that I would swear on a stack of 1,000 credit notes that high that there was a hurt tone in his voice. In addition, the charge of assaulting a police robot will be added to your record. This was foolish, since my brain and larynx are armored and in my midsection. That I know well, George, but your little two-way radio is in the top of your pointed head, and I don't want you reporting to your friends just yet. That, friends, is how it all begins in The Stainless Steel Rat by Harry Harrison. So, welcome back to stately Wiley Manor. Yeah, it's not the same. I'm not going to try to copy Michael K. Vaughan. Go check him out. I'm sure he's probably read The Stainless Steel Rat. He's probably read all 10 or so of the books in the series. I've got 3, this and 2 others behind me, that I plan on reading because, spoiler alert, I did enjoy this one quite a bit. It follows James de Gritz and is written in the first person, so if you don't like first person, that might irritate you along the way. But this man is a criminal who gets enlisted and becomes on the side of one of the good guys. And so he ends up chasing down another criminal over the course of this book. And that's essentially the premise here. He gets caught, gets enlisted, goes off, and gets on his own mission. And it wraps up nice and neatly towards the end in a conclusion that was a little unexpected, but a good and satisfying conclusion, all things considered. This book is 160 pages. It was a good, quick read. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I started it, the first 3 chapters, I think, back in June during a mood reading weekend, and decided to pick it back up at the start of July to knock this one out, and I'm really glad I did. It was hard to put it down. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I was expecting it to be kind of a detective, maybe modern, maybe fantasy sort of novel, in spite of the cover here. Because I didn't really know what to expect other than on the back that it's Slippery Jim de Gritz, the Stainless Steel Rat. And I probably should have paid attention to the word ship on the back blurb. That would have clued me in. This is a science fiction story, and I was pleasantly surprised with that. Now, all of the ideas in here as to the future and how things are going to be obviously don't hold up today. This was written in the 60s, I think. I can find out pretty quickly. 1961 by Harry Harrison. Obviously, things have changed in the last, couple of years to where some of the things, and you'll find this true probably on most of the vintage science fictions that you pick up, that what they imagined life would be like, the technology we'd have, the ways in which things are interacting in the world have not come to pass in the way they imagined. But that's part of the fun, is seeing how they envisioned everything turning out. And this is centered almost primarily around this hero and his exploits, if you want to call him a hero. The protagonist, the narrator for the story. And yeah, he runs into a plot where a battle star is being built, which has been none have been built in a long time, but he kind of finds the trails of one being built and goes to investigate, and that leads on a whole lot of things, including a complete restructuring of who he is in terms of his appearance at some point in time in the book. And it's a fun little adventure for as long as you don't take it too seriously and take it for what it is, you're going to have fun with this book because that is ultimately what I think this book is going to give you. A lot of fun on a story, and I imagine the others in the series are probably more of the same. It does have a pretty strong female character that takes place in the book. If you're bothered by hand-wavy stuff, such as how he figured out that this was going to be the next move, but doesn't really explain how he figured that out, you've got to trust that the narrator is just that smart to piece it all together without leaving you the trail of breadcrumbs to follow yourself. So if that sort of thing bothers you, you might get a little irked by this. And again, if you don't like first-person books, if you really hate them, I know some people are very violently opposed to first-person reading, this book will probably drive you insane as well. But if you can get past both of those things, this is definitely a fun read. I thoroughly enjoyed The Stainless Steel Rat. I give it a very, very solid 4 stars. Not quite a 5-star read. It's not mind-blowing. It's not earth-shattering, but it's very enjoyable. I think there's an omnibus out there which has the first 3 volumes of The Stainless Steel Rat that I'll probably pick up, assuming I continue to enjoy these. From the looks of it, one of these is the climactic adventure, so I'm assuming the conclusion for Stainless Steel Rat saves the world at the end of the things. But hopefully Stainless Steel Rat's Revenge is the next one in there. Let's see here. This one was written in 1970, and it doesn't really mention any other Stainless Steel Rat books, but this one probably does. Ah yes, Stainless Steel Rat, then the Stainless Steel Rat's Revenge, so I've got that one covered. Then Stainless Steel Rat Saves the World, so this is book number 3. So I'm assuming that if I enjoy this and want to keep it, I can upgrade these 3 vintage classics here to a single volume omnibus. So I'm looking forward to diving into getting more with him. Probably not this month, but it may be that in August the next book in this series ends up being my vintage selection for the month. So hopefully you'll check it out. Let me know if you've already read it and how you enjoyed it, or if you're going to be picking up and reading it, because it is a fun, thrilling adventure. As long as you know exactly what you're getting going into it, I don't think you'll be disappointed by this one. So thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and enjoy your day.